when we don't see things for as they are, when we don't have the willingness or the humility to gain the knowledge, to find the peace of mind, to understand others, that's when life gets very, very difficult. Today is a new day. I am Nikki G, your host. Welcome to the Lone Doctrine, a safe space to bridge the gap between your authentic self and your mental health. We are your food for thought exploration station in order to make today better than yesterday. I wanted to dive right in and share something I found based on the topic of the month, expectations. Toss your expectations into the ocean. Did I just scare you? Hopefully you weren't driving. Act without expectation from Zen Habits. How much of your stress, frustration, disappointment, anger, irritation, pissed off comes from one little thing? Almost all of it comes from your expectations. And when things inevitably don't turn out as we expect, we wish things were different. We build these expectations in our heads of what other people should do, what our lives should be like, how other drivers should behave. And yet it's all a fantasy. It's not real. And when reality doesn't meet our fantasy, we wish the world was different. Here's a simple solution. Take your expectations and throw them in the ocean. Picture all the expectations you've had for yourself, for your life, for your spouse, for your kids, for your coworkers, your job, the world. Take them from inside you and toss them into the ocean. A river or a lake will also do. What happens to them? They float. They're carried around by waves. The current takes them out and they drift away. Let them be washed away by the cleansing waters and let them go. Now, live your life without them. Well, what's a life without expectations? It means you accept reality as it is and people as they are without expectations, without trying to force people into the containers you have for them, seeing things as they are. It's a life where you don't need to be disappointed or frustrated or angry. Or if you are, you accept it and then you let it go. That's not to say you never act. You can act in a way that is in accordance with your values and influence the world, but never have an expectation of how the world will react to those actions. If you do something good, you won't expect praise or appreciation. Let those expectations of reward and praise float away with the waves. Do good because you love doing good and expect nothing beyond that. Pay attention to your thoughts. Don't beat yourself up if you have expectations. Just see them, then toss them in the ocean. Notice if you start to wish things weren't the way they are. If you wish someone else wouldn't do something, notice that. You have expectations and you wish people or the world could have met them instead of doing what they actually did. Toss those wishes into the ocean too. Now accept things and move on. Let the waters of the world cleanse us and let us walk lightly in a world that is already wonderful without our fantasies. Because, as the Dalai Lama says, I am open to the guidance of synchronicity and do not let expectations hinder my path. Now, this might seem a little woo-woo to some, but I want to encourage you to see the lesson in the woo-woo because it's important. So many of our expectations just cause chaos in our lives. We're met with disappointment, frustration, anger, and the saddest of all, hate. When we don't see things for as they are, when we don't have the willingness or the humility to gain the knowledge, to find the peace of mind, to understand others, that's when life gets very, very difficult. And so much unnecessary stress and frustration and pain and hurt happens in too many people's lives. If you take those expectations away, not only will you better your life, but you'll better the lives of everyone around you. This has always been a difficult concept for me because you can make a good stance either way. You should have a certain amount of expectations in life. It motivates you, it keeps you going, it creates a value system, but they can also create a lack mindset because of the lack of knowledge, because of the lack of willingness to learn. So the better question is, are they expectations or aspirations that you're feeling? When we're leading our lives in a way that conflicts with our authenticity, we're bound to create tension, dissonance, and our self-worth dwindles, and we essentially little by little are living in lack. There's nothing more powerful than the truth. We always want to fabricate a better way, a better story. Your truth is the best story, really the only story. But we need to first throw our expectations and the expectations from others out into the ocean. It's then we can truly start living life and finding the peace of mind we all deserve. So this week, just do your best to be the observer. Observe those tendencies you may know you have or may not have yet realized in the pressure of expectation. So this week, just do your best to be the observer. Observe those tendencies you may know you have or may not even realize you have in the pressure of expectation, and instead, take a deep breath and enjoy what is and keep fighting the good fight.